En el aula, los estudiantes discutían el tema del cambio del clima y cómo afecta el agua disponible en sus comunidades. Durante el programa, analizaron el problema de la conservación del águila. So what's going on here? We see a lot of words that have an ending, the letter A at the end, so you would think that they would be feminine, but then they're using an el, the masculine article, for the. So the good news is that in general, in Spanish, most masculine words do end in O, as you learned in one of your first classes of Spanish. And most feminine words do end in A, the letter A. But here we see these irregulars, and you've probably been seeing them cropping up as you've been practicing your Spanish. So what's the explanation, and why don't they all work the same? Well, it's a huge topic, but I want to give you a more manageable way to use these words. So we're going to put them into two groups. The first group contains the words that are borrowed from Greek. They all end in the letters M-A, ma. You already know many of them. One of them, a very common one, is problema, problem. And you know that it's el problema. And up to now, you've probably just thought, well, I just need to remember that it's el problema. It seems like it's not jiving with the rules of Spanish, but that's okay. I just need to memorize it. But let me give you an explanation so you know why it's like that and how to use it. So you have this list of words that end in MA. I'm going to include them under the video, but for now, I'm just going to talk about the following words that end in MA. El idioma, el sistema, el tema, el problema, el clima, and el programa. So of course, there are many more, but let's look at these because these are probably the most common ones and the ones that you will probably wind up using. So they end in MA, or the letter A in Spanish, but you use the el, the article el, with them. The reason is they come from Greek, they're masculine words. For some reason in Spanish, they kept the a ending, not an o ending or any other vowel or consonant. But the most important thing you need to know about these words is that they are masculine. So in every sense, except for seeing that a at the end of the word, they're masculine. So you're going to say el problema, but if it's plural, you're going to say los problemas. It's still going to maintain its masculine nature. If you want to talk, add an adjective, the adjective is going to end with an O. So you're going to say el problema complicado. If you want to use the demonstrative adjective, meaning this, with it, you're going to use the masculine one, este problema, or este sistema, or even if it's that one, ese sistema. You're using the masculine one. And if you want to substitute a pronoun for it, you're going to use the masculine one. So you would say, este programa no lo utilizo. I don't use it. You're going to use lo for it. So in every sense, except for the appearance, in every sense, these words are masculine. And so that will help you when you come across these words which come from Greek. And you could look up all these Greek nouns that come from Greek into Spanish. We have almost all of them, if not all of them, come into English too. The only thing is in English, they don't all end in MA. Some of them do, but some of them just end in M or even ME. But the important thing is that in Spanish, these are masculine words. And so whenever you try to modify them or use another word that works with them, they're going to be masculine. They will work like any other masculine word. So then we have this other group, these words that look really similar to those. They end in the letter A, and they have the article el, but they aren't working the same way. They seem to be feminine, and that's because they are. But the reason that we use el, or the masculine article, with them is not because they're masculine, but for aesthetic reasons. Because in Spanish, it sounds better, and they just like the sound that it makes when you use el before these words. Let me explain. So some examples are el agua, el aula, el águila. So as you can see, not only do these words end in the letter A or a, they also start with the letter A or a. And that's the requisite. They need to be words that start with A and end in A. So they're feminine words, but we say el because in Spanish, they like the sound that it makes having the el, which is a vowel and then a consonant. El agua, it flows better. El aula, el águila. And we know it's for that reason because you only do this with words that start with A and end with A if the stress is on that first syllable. Agua, aula, águila. Because there's another word in Spanish, which is la anguila, which looks really similar on the surface to águila, but it just has the emphasis is not on the first A, it's in the middle of the word. Anguila, it means eel, and that's why you say la anguila, not el anguila. So that's what you need. You need to have words that start and end with A, and the stress is on that first A that comes out of your mouth when you say the words. So it's el agua, el aula, el águila. And these words are feminine. So the opposite of that first group we talked about, you will, whenever any words that you have to use or deal with these words will be feminine. So you will say, if you make the words plural, you will say el agua, but las aguas, the waters. If you want to use an adjective, you will say el agua fría. And if you want to say this water, esta agua. And if you want to say the water, I don't use it, no la utilizo. So it's that simple. So you just have to, I know it's not completely simple, and there are so many other irregularities and exceptions, but you know what I'll say. I'll say what I say in all my videos, read out loud. The more you read Spanish out loud, the more you're going to come across these. They're common words, they will come up a lot, and the most common ones will come up most often, and so you will become more familiar with them. Believe me, Spanish speakers don't think about any of these rules most of the time. They just speak Spanish and it comes out right, the same way we speak English. So if you'd like to take a closer look at this and other subjects, please book a class with me, and I'd be happy to work on many of these topics with you. We'll get a little bit deeper into it and drill some of these sentences and phrases and really help you to get comfortable with using these words this way. If you like this video, please consider sharing it with your friends on social media, and take a look at this next video.